Which one's better? This one or this one? Does it really even matter when it comes to hunting whitetails? Let's find out. What's up, guys? Joe here from scruffyarms.com and the Scruffy fam. Hey, if you're new here, please hit that like button, subscribe button, just helps our channel grow. Man, what a crazy week this is. It is SHOT Show is going on. There's all kinds of announcements, all kinds of new stuff that's coming out. New ammunition, new optics, new firearms, all kinds of new gadgets for our community. And I'm really excited to see that stuff that's coming out. And we'll talk about that as it comes out and as the things that come that really pique our interest. Okay. And there are a few things, but one thing I wanted to talk about was something that I alluded to in a previous video that I did. And I'm sorry it's been a little bit while in between these videos. 'Tis the season for colds, flus, those things to pass around. We've had some go through our family. Also, we've had a ridiculous amount of snow here in Wisconsin. So all of that said, what I wanted to do today was I wanted to get into the numbers. Any of you that watch our channel for a while, you know that I am very much into looking at the numbers when it comes to some of these firearms. If we really want to talk about ballistics and talk about what is better than something else. I think it's really hard to say, oh, I want this firearm and I want this caliber because XYZ. Well, when it comes to whitetail deer hunting, there's a plethora of very, very adequate caliber choices to go with. And two of the most popular are the .308 Winchester and the .270 Winchester. Both of them came out near the same time. And the differences between these two is very, very minuscule. Actually, I will argue that if all things equal, you get the same barrel length, same rifle, you are probably going to see almost identical ballistics. And people will say, but wait a minute, the .270 is faster and flatter shooting than the .308. But the .308 has a higher BC, which means it's going to be able to carry farther at a better distance. Well, all of that stuff is irrelevant when we're talking about hunting within 600 yards of deer-sized game and down. Now, some people will even use these for elk. And we're going to look at the numbers and see at what ranges these are adequate for elk, because they are. You can hunt elk with a .308 and a .270. If anyone tells you they can't, they're wrong. I have the data to back it up, plus the empirical evidence of plenty of hunters that have come before me that have hunted with it and harvested elk. So today we're going to get into the numbers. We're going to look at Hornady American Whitetail. The reason I'm picking a Hornady American Whitetail is because of the most readily available and common types of ammunition offered for both of these when it comes to hunting. We're going to look at the 130 grain for the .270, and we're going to look at the 165 grain for the .308. The reason we're looking at those is because, again, when looking at those two different cartridges, those are the most popular based on sales for hunting ammo only that exist. 130 grain, 165 grain. They dwarf all the other grain weights for these. So I'm going to share my screen. You guys may notice this is a little different recording platform that I've used before, so bear with me. We are going to see if this works. So first up, let me get this shared. Okay, so first we have the .308. Now, when we look at the .308, we're going out to 600 yards. Okay. Now, for all of these, we're assuming it's a 24-inch barrel. I know that 24-inch barrels are not the norm, okay? It's not the norm, but this is what they use for their testing. Almost all rifles are being released at 22 inches or less. We'll go with this just for data's sake. So we're talking about 2,700 feet per second velocity out of the barrel. And as you can see, all the way out to 600 yards. Our energy that we have all the way out to 600 yards. And the reason I did out to 600 yards is because we would argue anywhere between 900 and 1,000 foot-pounds of energy is what you need to kill a deer. And getting 956 at 600 yards, that is plenty adequate to harvest a deer. Okay, so within 600 yards, 308 can harvest a deer. I want you to look at these numbers, and I want you to remember these numbers. Okay, we've got at 100 yards, 2283, 1941, 1640, 1378, 1150, and 956. All right. So now let's look at the 270. Okay, so here's the 270. Now, again, we're going out to 600 yards. So we're looking at 3,060 foot per second. You can see our velocities all the way out to 600. But I want you to look at the energy. So energy is the thing that we're concerned about when it comes to hunting. So for energy, funny enough, if you look at this, the numbers are almost identical to the 308. We're talking within 5 to 10 foot-pounds of energy all the way out to 600 yards, okay? Both of them within 300 yards will kill an elk, will kill a deer out to 600 yards. So when we look at this and we look at just the data that's lined up here, the reason I wanted to compare these two is I could go down the route of looking at availability, types of rifles, all of that stuff. I absolutely can. And you're going to get some very interesting results if you do that. But for a hunting application and talking about for hunting, when someone comes to me and says, should I get a 308 or a 270? I'm hunting whitetail in Wisconsin. Everything is well within 300 yards. I'm telling them, pick whatever has the most ammo on the shelf at Walmart because they're identical. There is no difference between this and this when it comes to energy on target and what they will do. One is a 30 caliber. So here's, get that a little bit closer to the camera for you. You can see the bullet difference is considerably different. Okay, you get much more mass out of the 308 than you do the 270. The 270 is going to shoot faster and flatter. It has less drop, significantly less drop than the 308. So what does all of that mean at the end of the day? Well, the 270 was designed to be a hunting round, 100% a hunting round. It was meant to shoot fast and flat, so you didn't have to make a lot of corrections. You could get we used to call we call it a battle zero, where you would have a zero that you could shoot anything close out to whatever your max range was. And when you had that, you knew you could hold just center mass, I think point blank zero. Yeah, I think it's called point blank zero here. You aim just high shoulder, middle mass of the deer, shoot out to 300 yards, you're going to kill the deer. You don't have to make any adjustments. Well, those days have changed. Now we are making adjustments inside of our optics to be able to make longer shots. Okay, and I did compare the 270 to 6.5 PRC, and I said the 6.5 PRC is just the modern version of the 270. I compared the 6.5 Creedmoor to the 308. The 6.5 Creedmoor, while it isn't the same caliber as the 308, ballistically is very, very similar, and it's just more efficient. These two rounds carry the same amount of energy out to 600 yards. The 308 is more popular, far and away. If someone releases a new rifle, they release it in 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor. 308 is the number 3 selling ammunition and firearm in the country. Okay, the only things that beat it are the 22 long rifle and the 223-5.56. The 308 you can find in the AR platforms, you can find it in bolt action, you can find it in single action. It is extremely popular. It's a military round. It's been around. It's done the things. Okay. The 270 Winchester has a very interesting history. It has gained a ridiculous amount of popularity due to the writings of Jack O'Connor. There's probably some very fanciful stories with the 270, but at the end of the day, the 270 Winchester and the 308 Winchester are both very, very good rounds when it comes to harvesting deer size game and down within 600 yards. Within 300 yards, elk and down. So why would we compare these two then? Well, when we want to look at the different types of rifles that are available and the different things that you can do with these, people have asked me, should I get a 270 or a 308? And my answer to them, as I said before, is whichever one you can find the ammo for. Ammunition for both of these is very, very similar in price. The only difference is you're going to find more offerings of 308 than you are 270. Not much, but you are going to find some military bulk ammo that you won't find for the 270. The other thing that you're going to find is you're going to find match grade ammunition for the 308 that you will not find for the 270. The 270 is not a match style round. It was not made to be a competition type round. It was made to be a hunting round, where the 308 has been used in long range and precision shooting competitions for decades. So you're going to find those types of offerings in those types of loadings. You can get a precision rifle in 308 Winchester. There are competitions in PRS for 308, in F class for 308. There is not for 270. Okay, so when you look at what these are intended for, yes, you could go down the road of talking about what the difference between the two are, which one is better. But if you're talking purely from a hunting standpoint, as far as hunting goes, the 270 and the 308 are identical. There is absolutely no reason to call one better than the other. I own both, I hunt with both, and the things I shoot with them are very dead. So, guys, let me know what you think. 308 and 270. Which one do you go with and why? My dream rifle was a Winchester Model 70 and 270 Winchester. The reason for that is I grew up reading the stories of Jack O'Connor. I always wanted a Model 70, 270 Winchester purely for that, the pure Americana, the rifleman's rifle in the historic chambering. So that's what I got. I also spent many, many years of my life in the military and have a lot of time on a 308. I know what it can do ballistically. I've seen it. I've seen it in action. I have a 308, a Remington 700. I really don't see a need for me to pick between the two when it comes to hunting. I took both of them out hunting this year. Of all the different chamberings that I have, all the different calibers I have, I took the 270 and the 308 out hunting with me this season. So, guys, what do you think? What do you think's better? Why? Which one do you like better? I am wildly curious. All of us have our own opinions. I love to hear about them. I love to hear what people think, why you think that way. Do you think that these are still relevant? Do you think the 270 and 308 are relevant today when with all the new Creedmoors, with all the new ARCs, with all the new PRCs? Is this something we still need, or should we just let these things go off to the wayside and get the more modern chamberings? Let me know. I'm wildly curious. And guys, we got more stuff coming up. The weather's finally starting to clear, so we're going to get out to the range. We got quite a few copper bullets we're going to take out, and we're going to give those things a try. I am pretty interested in seeing the type of penetration that copper can get. We're going to give this another go, especially in the 308. We're going to see how it does suppressed. We also have the 7.62 by 39 we're going to take out, see how that thing shoots suppressed. We have our 6.5 Creedmoor that is set up, and we're going to see how that thing does suppressed. That is a pretty fun rifle to shoot, so we're going to see what it looks like when we can really start to stretch it out. And we got a lot more other content coming up. Like I said, we're going to talk about SHOT Show. We're going to talk about the things that we've seen. I want to get your guys' opinions and reactions on some of the things that were announced. Let me know what you think about this new recording. Do you guys like this one, or do you want me to go back to the other one that I was doing before? I think anytime we're doing a bench chat where I'm going to be sharing my screen, I might do this way. It just makes it a little bit easier. But let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. And I really look forward to hearing from you guys. Until then, I hope you stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you next time.